I don't know if you've heard this, but there is one undeniable truth. Nintendo Switch has games, but each of those games has a title screen, and I am here to do the digging on its dirtiest. These title screens, some of them are innocent bystanders in the whole affair, but many Nintendo Switch title screens are actually big fat liars. They tell you to do one thing to start the game, but in reality, you don't need to do that thing to start the game. And so, which games does this affect, at least from the first party franchises? That is what I am here to uncover today. This is being live streamed on the Twitch side of things, so if you ever want to join in on the fun, you should follow me over there. You might see some chat show up below. But apart from that, let's just set the ground rules here. Alright, these are the rules that I am following for this little experiment of mine. If a title screen offers an alternate input besides the one displayed in order to start the game, then it is lying. Each title screen, we're going to spend a bit on each title screen because I have to test what happens with two Joy-Con, what happens with a sideways Joy-Con, if that's supported, and what happens with a Pro controller. Because in my little pre-research, I found that for some games, it actually varies. Now, for our purposes, there are going to be some title screens that say, press any button to start the game. And to that I say, the capture button is intended to capture something, right? If you press the capture button, you want to capture the title screen. So that overrides any display that says to the contrary. And same with the home button. It would be weird if the home button didn't take you back to the home menu. So those two buttons will not be counted against any title screen. And finally, I just want to clarify that I'm doing this stream/recording on January 9th, 2024, and that when I open the games in question, they will be up to date. They have the most current version of themselves installed in the system. So if anything changed between their initial release and now, then that's going to be factored in. And all right, I believe that's all the ground rules, which means as I scroll down, well, we're going to be sorting the games into these three categories. Which ones are total BS? Which ones are mostly telling the truth? And which ones are 100% telling the truth? So yeah, that's why I'm going to be hopping between a bunch of title screens, and then we'll see what happens. I've pulled a bunch of games from my library. We'll see how many we get through tonight. And we'll go by franchise so that we can stay relatively organized. We're kicking things off with Super Mario Odyssey as a look into the entire Mario franchise. They recommend detached Joy-Cons, but we're going to test out both. Alright, so on this title screen, of course, there is a active save file on this. The prompt is in the bottom right under Mario. It says left stick to select, A to confirm. That's a pretty solid set of instructions, I would say. Surprisingly so. But the question is, can any other button confirm? I'm pressing ZR. Pressing R. I'm pressing R3. Y. X. B. The D-pad also works for selecting, so, I don't know if I can count that as an untruth, though. It says use the left stick to select, and the D-pad also works. But that's just kind of a video game convention, you know. What if I shake the controllers? If I press both at the same time? So how about SL and SR? Okay, here's the interesting part. Gotta go back. change the grip, make a Joy-Con. Doop-de-doop-de-doop. These are single-player games, otherwise I would just have another Joy-Con connected. Let's see if the title screen has adjusted itself. Probably will in a second once I hit again. Oh, right, this game doesn't support single Joy-Con. That's why they're prompting me to do this. So let's just jump to the Pro Controller. It does support single Joy-Con in multiplayer, though. That's for the 2-player. Okay, any Pro Controller buttons doing anything weird? No. I had the thought to try the plus button because back in the old days, that was your start button. That would start the game, but even that doesn't work. So I think that I have to give Mario Odyssey the truth category. If I click start 2-player mode. Oh, Mario can use a Pro Controller. Oh yes, after all that finagling around, I have to give Super Mario Odyssey 100% truthfulness, and I have the bullet point list on this document set to number the games, so we can keep track of how much of the Switch library is telling the truth versus how much is lying. On to the next Mario game. Oh yeah, I should specify. I'm not going 100% in release order for Mario, because I have them grouped by the main platforming games versus the spin-off games. We're going to see a lot of Mario here. But next up, we are testing New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. Now loading New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which was always a strange release with how they handled certain features like the mid-air spin and the blue toad being in the game. Okay. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe claims press L plus R to start. I pressed A. Let's go back to the title screen. I pressed plus. Let's go back to the title screen. I pressed only L. I pressed just ZR. I pressed the D-pad on the Pro Controller. Of course, this just leaves one little thing to check. Although I think we know which category this is going in. But I gotta check the single Joy-Con. Just to see if anything funny happens. Still says press LR. Should technically say press SLSR. Okay, oddly, the single Joy-Con equivalent to the X button, which is the Y button because I'm holding it sideways, that's not starting the game. Wow, actually none of the face buttons are starting the game. The plus button is not starting the game. The shoulders individually are not starting the game. Wow. If you are playing with a single Joy-Con, and I am so glad that I decided to test this. If you are playing with a single Joy-Con, you have to press SLSR. Just like the title screen says. But if you're playing on a Pro Controller, all the buttons work. Literally all of them. Oh, I didn't mean to close the game completely. I was just gonna reconnect double Joy-Con to see if the third pillar of controller was any different. There, we'll boot that back up and see how double Joy-Con work. This is exactly why I wanted to make this video. A lot of the early title screens say press LR to start and have some way around that. And to a degree, I kind of get the idea of press LR to start when you're using a split controller, because that allows you to ensure that both your controllers are working. But if you're able to bypass it anyway, then what's the point? Okay, on double Joy-Con, sure enough, the face buttons are not doing anything. Although it will allow me to skip this cutscene. Plus and minus aren't doing anything, not even at the same time. L3, R3 are not. The triggers work. Technically do ZL, ZR. But a single, an individual trigger is not doing it. Ah, I have double Joy-Con connected, but I turned one on its side without going to the home menu and pressed SL and SR at the same time, and that counted. And actually it changed to the single Joy-Con grip on its own, because now my control stick doesn't work when I hold it upright, but it does when I hold it sideways. So that's neat. You can just turn off your second Joy-Con at any time on the title screen. For now, I am putting the game in both categories depending on whether you use the Joy-Con, and it's in mostly truthful because you can get away with SL, SR. Or, if you're using the Pro Controller, it's total BS. Press any button you want. But next we are moving on to Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Moving into 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, I still have my single Joy-Con grip from the last game. So, we're going to start with that one. And let's start with 3D World specifically. It does have its own title screen, right?
Super Mario 3D World!
Alright, it says press the right face button when you're holding the Joy-Con sideways. Pressing the shoulders, nothing. Pressing the stick, nothing. Pressing the left bumper and trigger, nothing. I pressed the bottom button, and that brought me back to the title select, which is intentional. The only button I did not test was the right button, which would have brought me into the game. So, 3D World off to a pretty truthful start. I assume Bowser's Fury, has the same exact prompt. Testing X and Y, testing L and R, just in case there's something funny. Okay, so I think we can conclude that these will have the same outcome as, or separate Bowser's Fury from the rest of the result. Oh, actually, now it changed the prompt to A. Okay, I wonder if it does the same thing as Mario U Deluxe, where if I press the little triggers, it'll switch to sideways. Nope, no funny business there. So, looking pretty good, but we gotta test the Pro Controller.
Super Mario 3D World!
Doo-doo-ba-doo-ba-da-dee-ba-doo-doo. Says to press A. Well, would you look at that? I'm pressing all sorts of not A buttons and nothing's happening. That one was the A button. A. A. Now you have to press L and R to join the game. You know, I didn't consider the join screen. Is the join screen telling the truth? Okay, you can press the triggers in addition to the shoulders, but besides that, the join screen was also telling the truth. So, what do you know? We got another one in the truthful category. Alright, Mario, you're 2 for 3 here. Next up, Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Alright, I am now starting Wonder with the Pro Controller. Says to press L plus R to start. I pressed A. So, right off the bat, the Pro Controller is breaking this game just like Mario U Deluxe. So it seems to be a thing with 2D Marios. But what we found out in U Deluxe is that the Joy-Con worked as intended. So I'm going to connect those back and see if the same is true for Wonder. I am pressing A on my dual Joy-Con, and guess what's not happening? I am pressing the triggers on the Joy-Con, and nothing is happening. Very interesting. Yeah, you actually have to press L plus R on Joy-Con. Or SL. Whoops, I didn't mean to select that. Or SLSR, but then the prompt on the screen changes when you press SLSR. Yeah, Joy-Con is full truth here. Not even the half-truth thing. Because Mario U Deluxe never changed the prompt to SLSR. But Wonder did. Luigi's Mansion 3 is one of those weird ones where you boot up the game, it does not ask you to pick a Switch profile until after you get past this and into the game. Press A to start. Presses ZR. Presses DL. Presses L and R at the same time. The sticks. The D-pad. X, Y, B. Plus, minus. Alright, Luigi. You're one of the good ones. But do you fare the same with Joy-Con? I mean, probably. If the Pro Controller passes the test, then the Joy-Con will probably pass the test too. Other way around, that is more likely to be weird. Buttons that are in A, buttons that are in A, buttons that are in A. A. Yep. Hey, can I do the thing where I switch to single Joy-Con right on the title screen? No. Actually, this game probably doesn't support single Joy-Con, does it? I can verify this by doing single Joy-Con. Or wait, does it support dual Joy-Con because of the whole Guigi co-op thing? No, it doesn't. It's not listed at the top there. So that's it then. Luigi's Mansion 3, no lies detected. Which means next we move over to Princess Peach's latest outing in Princess Peach Showtime. Starting up Princess Peach Showtime with the dual Joy-Con. I just realized that my 2025 year in review is going to have a very large number of games on it just because I'm popping them all into the Switch right now. Okay, the claim is press A. Buttons, 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 buttons. Buttons, 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 buttons. Alright, they tell the truth. It's A. Go figure. How about single Joy-Con? Does it update the prompt for single Joy-Con? I assume this game... I mean, I've played it. It should definitely work with single Joy-Con. There are so few buttons. It does not... Wait, what happens in this game that requires dual Joy-Con? Jump. You don't need to worry about the camera because it's, like, largely 2D on the stage. Alright, this gives me a chance to check the Pro Controller anyway. YXB, 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 ZL, ZR, press at same time, LR, press at same time. Right sticks, press at same time, D-pad, spin it around. Pick the control. Plus, minus, press at same time. Yep, you gotta press A. So Princess Peach Showtime may be telling the truth, but Wario is more likely to be a liar. Checking WarioWare, get it together. X. I've got my Pro Controller connected to WarioWare, get it together right now. Which tells me, A. Wait, Wario's a straight shooter? He's telling the truth? I'm pressing all the buttons that aren't A. Well, so be it. How do you fare with a sideways Joy-Con? Prompt to switch to right face button. Alright. Wow. Can't believe Wario's the honest one here, but Wario had another game, and the reason I want to test this one separately is because it's a very different sort. Get It Together was more button focused, but Move It is more motion focused. So as I boot up WarioWare Move It, I'm reminded at the top, it only supports dual Joy-Con. No Pro Controller, because this is a motion-dependent game. It uses the IR camera, everything. Also, no single Joy-Con. I'm attempting to connect single Joy-Con right now. Telling me, nope. So I only have to check one controller. Dual Joy-Con. But there's still a chance it's lying. So, it has the same prompt as the last one. It's just A. Pressing all sorts of buttons to no result. Wario may be a cheater and a scammer, but a liar? Nope. Not a lying bone in that body. Given how motion intensive this game is, I just, if anything happens. Hey. Hey. Adding to the truth list. Well, Wario has proven himself a straight shooting truth teller once again. But now we move into the Mario side game. And we're starting with Super Mario Maker 2, the one most reminiscent of the platform. Here comes Super Mario Maker with the dual Joy-Con. Super Mario Maker 2. What's your claim, game? Press L plus R, you say? Oh, actually, on the title screen here, pressing stuff that isn't L and R controls the title screen level. I forgot about that, to be honest. At one point, I definitely knew this. The triggers work. Doesn't have to be LR bumper. Kind of surprised the plus button doesn't work, because that doesn't have a function inside the level outside of pausing. And I switch to sideways. Yes, but it doesn't change the button prompt to SLS. Did turn off the other Joy-Con. Then comes the question of Pro Controller. Alright, it's just that the only rule I can find here is that you can use ZL and ZR in addition to L and R, and that if you're using a sideways Joy-Con, it doesn't give you what are technically the correct button names for SL and SR. So overall, I'm going to put Super Mario Maker 2 in the mostly truthful category. Next is probably the largest Mario spin-off of all, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Got the game booted up with the Pro Controller. See where we go. Although, if I remember correctly, this is going to be a case of press the A button. I pressed the Y button. The D-pad. I pressed the right stick. Know what that means? Check the Joy-Con. Triggers work, for one thing. Face buttons do not. Plus and minus buttons do not. You can also mix and match bumper and trigger on. that was not the case. I tried that on some of the other ones. May not have said it out loud, but I can press left bumper and right trigger, or the other way around, or both triggers, or of course the actual displayed thing, which is both bumpers. I'm gonna try pressing both side bumpers. Accepted that. It changed my other Joy-Con to player 2, didn't outright turn it off. But it doesn't change the on-screen text to SLSR. Do any of the face buttons work on the sideways Joy-Con, just to be sure? No. Alright, so this one, I'm going to have to separate it out again, and Pro Controller is total BS, but Joy-Con is mostly true. So, there we go. Placed in those categories for Pro Controller and Joy-Con respectively. Now we take a small trip to Mario RPG Land, starting with Paper Mario, the Origami King. Although, yes, I know that one doesn't fully count as an RPG, but Thousand Year Door came back, so we can technically call Paper Mario an RPG series, right? Reminder, Origami King does not support single Joy-Con, probably because of the 1,000-fold arms. No, is motion controlled if you want it to be. I forget. Pro Controller doesn't force the motion on you. Who can say? Skip that. Alright. We're told press any button. Again, capture and home does not count for this. I'm going to press the most obscure button I can think of, which is right stick. Didn't work. Left stick. Work. Both. Wonder if that does the microphone pick up the click? Not sure if it does. It doesn't look like it does, but I'm clicking in the right stick. That should technically count as a button. What's another weird button? How about, since it doesn't support sideways Joy-Con, try SR on the left Joy-Con. Well, that doesn't work. Neither does SL. Nor on the right Joy-Con. Okay, how about up on the D-pad? Yeah, that worked. How about minus? Yep, that worked. So, I don't know if anyone who happens to be viewing has a ruling on the L3 R3 situation. I know they're not called L R3 on Nintendo consoles. But the Switch did introduce pressable stick on a Nintendo. So there are games that use those as button in. At Breath of the Wild, the launch title, uses it as a press the right stick in and you get the little zoom in first person camera where you can place beacon. But Nintendo knows it exists. And between that and the useless side buttons, which maybe I could forgive the useless side buttons, but not having R3 be a pressable button here, same for L3, I think I gotta stick Origami King. Mostly true. Like, mostly any button works, just not quite all of them. Although, wait, I have to check the Pro Controller. Okay, Pro Controller connected. L3 and R3 still don't work. But the other buttons do. Including the D-pad. Including minus. So yeah, ruling stands. This one is mostly true. And there it is for you. But, how is the return of the 1,000-Year Door gonna stack up to this? Let's find out. This title screen may contain spoilers for late game characters because this is on my personal save file. Press the any button. Well, L3 and R3 still don't work. Minus does. Trigger does. D-pad does. This game support single Joy-Con? Probably not. I should double check. Nope, does not support single Joy-Con. Let me go over to dual real quick. Right stick still not functioning as a button. I guess I should check those useless side buttons. Nope. Alright, so same ranking as Origami King. But next, arguably more successful than Mario Kart, is Mario Party. Super Mario Party, I believe, yep, was the odd one out. Only play with a single Joy-Con. Only testing the single Joy-Con. Says use the right button to confirm. Choose. Not technically the title screen. This is the title screen, which says press SLSR, so using accurate button name. Face button, nothing. Unless you press B and then it goes back there, which I guess is good. I called it B, but it's bottom face button. Yeah, I just tried the SLSR individually. No cigar. Oh, it's prompting me as to which two buttons to press at the same. That's the extra layer right there. Alright, well. Super Mario Party, you tell the truth. But how will the next Mario Party fare? Mario Party Superstars. Since I still have the single Joy-Con hooked up, I'll try that first. Going to get. Press L plus R. Not technically true for me using a single Joy-Con. Would be SLSR, and Super Mario Party got that detail right. Now that said, pressing my LR equivalents will get me into the game. Be the only way buttons are doing any. Alright, gonna change the grip. Here I am with dual Joy-Con now. And I'm sure it's gonna say press LR again. Face buttons, nothing. D-pad, nothing. Sticks, nothing. Plus, minus, same time, nothing. Triggers, nothing. Well, alright. That begs the question of the Pro Controller. This one has broken many a game so far. Will the Pro Controller allow me to bypass the requirement for LN? What? By Jove, they did it. They made it so that you're required to press both buttons on a Pro Controller. But because of the SLSR debacle, Mario Party Superstars is mostly. Now we've placed Mario Party Superstars in the mostly truthful yellow category, and that just leaves the most recent Mario Party outing on Switch, Jamboree. I am currently starting up Mario Party Jamboree with a Pro Controller. Yes, I know it has the word Super in front. Please skip the scene. It wants me to press LR. I'm going to press A. Oh then. E, X, Y, Z, X. Triggers. Triggers work. There's a little bit of a lie in there. You can press DLZ. But I'll admit, Pro Controller is usually the one that gets them. Alright, switch my controller orientation. Oh, but I'm not on the title screen anymore. Gonna have to close and reopen it. Alright, Joy-Con wants me to press LR. No face button is doing anything. Sticks. Yes, triggers. No. Alright, one more time, but with single Joy-Con. Alright, I am playing single Joy-Con. It did not switch the button prompts to SLSR. Alright, well, that is that. Mario Party Jamboree, just like its predecessor, Superstars, is mostly truthful, if not for some trigger and bumper discretion. So yeah, kind of makes sense that Super Mario Party is the most truthful because it really owned the single Joy-Con thing and committed to it, much to everyone's chagrin. Yeah, there's reasons why that wasn't great. Now, we're not fully done with Mario. There's a couple more spin-offs to go. I'm going to start with Mario Tennis Aces. Here is Mario Tennis Aces, and I don't remember if this game allows single Joy-Con. That's what I have connected right now. Face buttons are not working. But if I press SLSR, it works. It doesn't say SLSR, but it works. I switched to dual Joy-Con. Sure enough, it lets you do that. Just straight from the title screen. And the triggers work, so it's got the same technical lie as those last couple Mario parties. Okay, what if I switch to a Pro Controller? Again, it does let me do that right from the title screen. But hey, I'm rolling my fingers around the face buttons and nothing is happening. It just has the same allowance for the triggers. Not even the plus or minus buttons work, so you get a mostly truthful from Mario Tennis. To cap off Mario, let's go to the other sports spin-off, Mario Golf Super Rush. So yeah, there is Mario Tennis Aces in the mostly truthful category. I'm booting up Super Rush with a Pro Controller. And just a reminder, the Mario sports games boot up super fast. It wants L and R. A is a no-go, so is X, and the sticks, and Y, and B, and D-pad, plus, minus. Figures, though, yeah, it's the same as Mario Tennis Aces. Alright, let's go slot this in. There is one more character who is somewhat tied to Mario that we should now include. Let's boot up Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch. And here comes the Tropical Freeze. I've got the dual Joy-Con grip right now. Press L and R, A. Triggers work. Can I switch to sideways? Yes. Does not change the button prompt. This is the road that we've been down before. Now I've got the Pro Controller. Nope, just the same thing. So this is mostly truthful. Slot it right into the yellow category. And next, the final game that I have on my roster where Mario makes an appearance is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is going to transition us into a slew of multiplayer games. See how their title screens fare. Here is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with the Pro Controller. The prompt is press any button. So we know the right trigger works. Does R3 work? It does! Gotta check the left one. Oh, yeah. Truly, any button. Oh my god, I think I just shook the controller and that worked. I've never tried that before. No, I must have accidentally hit a button when I did that then. Left on the D-pad, it works. Minus, it works. Okay, the home button obviously doesn't work, but we already discounted that in the ground rules. So, Smash Ultimate, pressing any button truly works. At least besides the ones that are meant to override that. So guess what? You're 100% truthful. Good on you, Sakurai. With Smash Ultimate joining the green roster, let's move to some other multiplayer games. The very first one that launched with the Switch was this little odd duck called 1-2 Switch. I'm currently launching the game with the Pro Controller, but I'm pretty sure it's going to tell me to connect some Joy-Con.
1-2 switch. Here we go. Let's have some fun.
Okay, title screen. It is showing the 4 face buttons. And it's showing them on a sideways Joy-Con. Okay, none of the buttons do anything there. But what if I press a face button on the Pro Controller? Try as it might, the Pro Controller is not connecting. Let me sync the single Joy-Con. SLSR is not working. Neither is the plus button. So, true to its word, you must press one of the face buttons.
When you're each ready, grab a Joy-Con.
Yeah, no one's going to be ready and grabbing a Joy-Con, but this title screen goes in the truthful category.
Players.
I have slotted it in. Now, I can tell you from personal experience that everybody 1-2 Switch is also a truth-telling title screen. I'm not going to boot it up here or even add it to my list right now to keep things a little more streamlined, but it does tell you that you'll need to connect your phone or Joy-Con. It has you select how you want to play the game. Very much truthful. Instead, let's go to the new IP, ARMS. Alright, ARMS, it is recommended that you play with the thumbs-up grip, but there are other controllers. We will try single Joy-Con and Pro Controller for the title screen. Face buttons, D-pad, stick. Triggers. Triggers work. And of course the assigned bumpers. Let me switch to single Joy-Con SLSR. It also works, and it switches my grip. But the title screen does not update to SLSR like some other software. Of course, the big question, does the Pro Controller bypass any of this? Yep. 100% lying in the case of the Pro Controller. So, ARMS with the Pro Controller joins the total BS ranking, but ARMS with the Joy-Con is somewhere in the middle there. Mostly works as intended. Let's move over to the Splatoon franchise, starting with number 2. Alright, the title screen would like me to press ZL and ZR. The face button does nothing. The D-pad, nothing. The sticks, also nothing. What about the bumpers? Nada. Splatoon 2, spitting the truth since 2017. How does its sequel fare? Splatoon 3. Oh, wait, I have to check the Joy-Con just to be sure. Okay, I have rebooted the game with the Joy-Con. Single Joy-Con's not going to be an issue here because there's not enough buttons on a single to support that mode. Let's try SL and SR right now. Nope, that does not bypass the need for DLZR. How about Joy-Con bumpers? Sometimes different controllers have different things, plus and minus at the same time. No, all the other buttons. No. Alright, still spitting the truth then. Splatoon 2 will join the green category, but what about Splatoon 3? And I mean that for real. Here's a look at the updated green list with Splatoon 2 and everybody 1-2 Switch while I boot up Splatoon 3 with the Joy-Con. And you can tell it's Splatoon 3 because it's yellow and blue. What do we think? Did the team hold firmly in place? This is being recorded in the 2024 Frosty Fest. Did the team hold true to their ZLZR ideals? No SLSR nonsense? It would seem so. But wait, let's get the Pro Controller back. Pro Controller reporting for duty. Bumpers are a no-go. Plus and minus. The sticks. All the face buttons and D-pad. Splatoon 3. Should be no surprise because it's a direct sequel to Splatoon 2, but the title screen functions identically and 100% tells the truth. Now, how about a little more of an off-the-wall choice, a series we haven't heard from in a while. How does F-099 fare in this? I've added Splatoon 3 to the green section, totally truthful, and we're booting up F-099 with the Pro Controller. Also winter in this game, being recorded this day. Says to press A. Da 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 B B B Y Y Y Y plus. Plus works. Ooh. Tough break F-099. I caught you in a lie. Actually, I can't back out to the title screen to test any other buttons now, so give me a moment. Okay, back with a new title screen. How about the minus button? No. L and R at the same time. Triggers at the same time. B and Y. Y and X. Sticks at the same time. Shake the controller. Alright, so plus is the only exception to this title screen rule right now, but what about Joy-Con? Back with the Joy-Con, I'll test the plus button last, since that broke the title screen on the Pro Controller, and will probably work on the Joy-Con. Oh, I pressed A by accident. Okay, back from that accident. Triggers, bumpers, sticks, minus. Now I'm very interested in SLSR. Nope, nothing there. But does plus still work on the Joy-Con? It absolutely does. Now, that title screen did not allow me to change to single Joy-Con grip when I pressed the SLSR buttons. So I went back and did it on the home menu, just to be sure, because this is definitely a game that supports single Joy-Con grip. So for one thing, I want to see if it changes. Yep, it does change the A button to the right face button. Pressing the middle triggers. One's on the side. Does plus still override this? Somehow, no. I really expected it to, but it does not. So when you're using a single Joy-Con, this screen is 100% telling you the truth. But when you've got a dual Joy-Con or Pro Controller, you can get away with pressing the plus button instead. I think it's safe to say that this is going in the mostly truthful category. So there it sits, along with its army compatriot. How about Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classic? I've got my single Joy-Con grip carrying over from that last round. So how will Clubhouse Games treat the situation? It says to press L and R, and I'm using a single Joy-Con. Should be S's on those. It said the face buttons won't work, the plus button won't work, the ZL and R, the ZR and R button on the side do not work. Wait, did it switch? For a second there, it looked like when I pressed SLSR that it switched the UI to say SLSR. Which makes me unsure why it didn't say that from the beginning. I'm gonna look one more time before we switch to dual Joy-Con. But so far, kinda telling the truth. Now, I guess I just imagined the S. Double the joy. LNRA. Sure enough. Triggers work. Another one of these games. Break out the Pro Controller. Pro Controller in hand. Well, again, the triggers still break it. So, mostly truthful. It's missing some S's when you use a single Joy-Con, and it's not factoring in the triggers, but what can you do? Stuck in the yellow, but perhaps Nintendo Switch Sports will yield more interesting results. Alright, now I have the Pro Controller connected, but I think, yeah, the light went off on the bottom of the Pro Controller, because I'm pretty sure Nintendo Switch Sports is your Joy-Con experience. Look at that icon, crossed out the Pro Controller. And no single Joy-Con grip, so we only have to check one controller. Alright, so this is technically the title screen. We have prompts in the bottom right telling us stick to select, right face button for OK. Going to press every other button I can imagine. Plus, DL, ZR, SL, SR, the stick, B, Y, X, D. Oh, hold on. Oh, that's very interesting. The right face button on the left Joy-Con, aka right on the D-pad, actually functions as an OK button. The bottom one, a back button after you get past that point. And both sticks allow you to select, so the lack of an L or R on that stick doesn't matter. Well, alright then, Nintendo Switch Sports. You are a straight talker. You tell the truth. The list is entering second page mode, so you can just see the bottom few entries on the green section here. Next up is Animal Crossing New Horizon. I currently have 2 Joy-Con and an Animal Crossing New Horizons game. And as the island loads, we shall see. Oh yeah, on this particular Switch, I did a Southern Hemisphere island, so you're about to see a landscape of summer, even though the Splatoon section proved that this was being recorded in winter. Press A, or press minus for setting. Those are all the prompts, so I'm pressing my left Joy-Con face buttons, moving the sticks, pressing the sticks. I'm pressing L and R at the same time. Same for the triggers. Pressing the Y, X, B. I'm holding my Joy-Con sideways and pressing SLSR. Okay, the only buttons left are the ones that it's actually telling me to press. So far so good, but we gotta check a few other things. So I was trying to check the single Joy-Con grip, because I swear there's a feature in this game where you can use it to have like same screen co-op going on, but apparently you cannot have that here from the get-go. So onto the Pro Controller. Plus, oh wait, I pressed minus, which is going to open the settings exactly like the game tells me it would. Well, the minus button works as intended. I can definitely confirm that. Rawr, rawr, rawr. No lies detected. And that clears out the multiplayer-focused franchises, so let's switch over to another main tenet of Nintendo Switch, starting with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Oh, I don't have a save file here to make a title screen call with. Well then. Okay, I just played the first 5 seconds so that I could hit the plus button, create a save data. Now we should get the titles. There are no button prompts on this screen, you just have the options on the right. D-pad and the stick allow you to move between the options. E, Y, X, nothing. Plus, minus does nothing. So, you do inherently need to have knowledge that you can use a stick to select things and A, confirm. But I suppose You can't call the screen a liar because it's not making any claim. Wonder if this needs to be its own category, but just to show, yes, I did in fact go on and create its own blue box for no lies and no truth. And if we run into any more of these, we have a place to put. Alright, this is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, made for the Nintendo Switch. It wants me to press L and R. I have a Pro controller. And the triggers work. Let's try Joy-Con. Got the Joy-Con connected. Base buttons. Plus. 6. SLSR. But again, the triggers work. Okay, to be fair, I don't think this game supports single Joy-Con, so the fact that the SLSR is not working, to be expected. But because the triggers, DL and ZR, also work, I gotta give it a mostly truthful. There it is in the yellow zone, but will Skyward Sword HD be joining it? We've arrived. It wants me to press A to start. B, Y, plus, triggers, bumpers, 6. Right face button on the D-pad. Nope. ZLZR nonsense. I mean, SLSR nonsense. Yeah. Swing my controller like the sword, like it wants me. That only leaves the A button, which means it must be telling the truth. Quick check of the Pro controller. Pro controller in hand. X, Y, B. D-pad. Minus. Triggers. Bumpers. I think I hit A when I shook. Yeah, I hit A. So, no lies detected. I have placed Skyward Sword in the green zone. And I expect Tears of the Kingdom to follow in Breath of the Wild's model. Probably end up in the same category, but just to be sure, it's been a little while since I played it. Booting up here. Yep, sure enough. No prompt, just a menu. There you go, Tears of the Kingdom. You and Breath of the Wild enjoy your box of weirdness. Here comes Echoes of Wisdom with the Pro controller. Press any button. Bold claim. Obviously, the best one to test here is the stick. It works. Both of them do. That works. That was plus and minus that I just tested. A. Y. Just to be sure. Moving the stick. It does not say move the stick, it says press the button, but you can press the stick. That's the important part. Bumpers work. Triggers work. Last, let's check the D-pad. Also works. No lies. You are wise indeed. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Alright, now another heavy-hitting franchise for Nintendo, one that pretty consistently sells. Let's jump into Kirby, starting with Star Allies. It bounced. Okay, directions are press A. Plus, minus, bumpers, triggers, D-pad, 6, Y, X, B. Sure enough, press A. Quick check of the old Joy-Con. Alright, pressing button combinations on the dual Joy-Con that are not A. Nothing undesirable happened. Okay. not letting me switch my grip on this, but I do want to test single Joy-Con. Upon connecting the single Joy-Con, the prompt changed to right face button. Correct. Kirby Star Allies. You know what you do with your allies, you tell them the truth. With friendship preserved, let's take a trip to 3D. So I've still got the single Joy-Con connected from Star Allies. Oh, this is another interesting case of there are no button prompts. But nothing other than the right face button and the stick does anything. So that's immediately going to put it in that new blue category. With no lies, no truth. There we go, you weirdo game. But if you'll indulge me a little bit, Kirby has a digital-only outing on the Switch. Let's check on Dream Buffet. Got my single Joy-Con and got my Kirby Dream Buffet. DR to delete save data is a dangerous prospect. It knows I'm in single Joy-Con mode. Sure enough. Very tempted to press ZR to make sure that it brings up a menu and not automatically deletes the save data, but you know what? I'm just gonna trust that one. I will see if there's any weirdness with the Pro Controller. Got my Pro Controller, prompt to switch to press A, and minus is now the button for deleting save data, so I can press ZR all I want. Okay, it did bring up a menu. I forgot it was minus for a second. But okay, A is the only button that works, even on the Pro Controller. Kirby's Dream Buffet. Not built on a bed of lies. There's actually another digital Kirby game that I think is a bit underrated. The next up is Kirby Fighters 2. Here we see I added Dream Buffet to the green section. 19th game to enter that category. Kirby Fighters 2 wants me to press the right face button, and this is with the Pro Controller connected, mind you. So it has not adjusted that to say A. Not that it needs to, because right face button works regardless of controller. Be 100% sure I'm going to get the single Joy-Con. Single Joy-Con present. SLSR, nothing. ZRR, nothing. Stick, nothing. Chalk that one up to Kirby Fighters 2. Or should we call it Kirby Fighters Truth? 20 truth-telling games so far, but one more Kirby to go with Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I've still got the single Joy-Con connected. Let's see where this brings us. It's got the same prompt as Kirby Fighters 2 for right face button. Does anything change with a Pro Controller? Yep, with a Pro Controller, it changes to A. I'm pressing all sorts of non-A buttons. Oh, hold on, we're going to a cutscene. Bring me back to the title screen. I was just about to try the plus button. You can only skip that with A, which probably tells me that you can only advance the title screen with A. So, Kirby, for the most part, didn't have any lies to dredge up. But let's move from Planet Popstar to Planet ZDR and try out Metroid. And just to show on screen, there's Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe in the green zone. Here comes Metroid Dread with the Pro Controller. Press A, you say. Press plus. D-pad. Minus, plus and minus. The bumpers, the triggers. when I started pressing R3, the screen did its little glitchy thing, and I thought I had found some sort of trick involving the sticks. But no, it really, really, really wants me to press A. And this game doesn't support a single Joy-Con setting, so looks like we're clear on Metroid Dread. Telling the truth, even if it's scary. How about Prime Remastered, though? Booting up Prime Remastered with the Pro Controller. Got Metroid Dread in the green zone. Prime Remastered, you would like me to press A to start. Challenge you, I say plus or minus or both. How about these buttons up here? Makes enough sense. It's the same franchise, and it's got the same prompt on the title screen. So, Metroid Prime Remastered, you pass the lie detector test as well. The truth of the matter is, this game, right over there in the green zone, is a really good remaster. There's still a few franchises left to check from Nintendo's first party, so now we're diving into Fire Emblem Three Houses. Press any button, A. D-pad. Triggers. Bumpers. Plus. Minus. Oh, this is a case where the sticks actually work. Alright, Three Houses. But there is one more thing I'm going to check in regards to this title screen. I've got a single Joy-Con connected. Okay, it does not support single Joy-Con, but if I connect two Joy-Con. It is not accepting the SL or SR buttons on the side of the Joy-Con. It does accept L3 and R3, but not those little SL or SR buttons. Now, to be fair to the game, you're not really expected to press those when you're holding the Joy-Con in this grip. But I'm being completely objective here. It's true that not any button works. So this is going in the mostly truthful category. But what about Fire Emblem Engage? The colors are so much more vibrant in Engage than they are in Three Houses. Even though I have a slight preference for Three Houses.
Fire Emblem, engage!
Press any button. Let's start with the one that gave us trouble last time. I think I hit the bumper by accident. In these little tiny buttons. Do the sticks still work? They sure do. So I think we can stick it right beside Three Houses. Let's move on to Pikmin, and if we go in release order for Switch, we are starting with Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Okay, funny thing, I just realized if I download this software update, that it's going to change the logo on the home menu to that new green Pikmin logo. But it's required for me to boot up the game, so I guess I have no choice. Okay, the title screen wants me to press LR. Got my Joy-Con connected. Pressing the face buttons, plus and minus, the sticks. What about little L and R? Does not support a single Joy-Con, but I thought I was trying to change the grip. Hold on, I didn't press L and R. Oh, I pressed L and R on the controller connecting menu, and apparently that counts. Hold on. I'm gonna try the triggers. Those count. But what about Pro Controller? A is doing nothing. Alright, this is another case where the triggers ZL and ZR work, so mostly truthful. With the list updated, we now move to Pikmin 1 from the Pikmin 1 Plus 2 release. Alright, we're starting with the Pro Controller. Pikmin 1 asks us to press A. And at least in the case of the Pro Controller, that seems to be 100% unchangeable. Let me double check on the Joy-Con for good measure. Got the Joy-Con connected. Alright, A is the only way. You are 100% truthful. But what about your sequel? Well, Pikmin 2 was released at the same time as Pikmin 1 on the Switch, so makes sense that it has the same press A prompt. But does it... Oh, for a second I thought that I pressed plus and it worked because of that bulb orb. I thought they were transitioning off this screen. Trying all sorts of other buttons, but in the end, just like its predecessor, only A will work. But the big one, and the newest one, let's try out Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 is challenging me to press the any button. But what's this? R3 and L3 are not counted button. And now I want to try the little buttons on the SL/SR side of the Joy-Con. Yep, those don't work. I'm assuming the D-pad works, though. Sure does. Now, that said, L3 and R3 totally count as buttons. So between that and the side of the Joy-Con, I think we have to put Pikmin 4 in the total BS category. Because it's not truly any button. So I have placed Pikmin 4 up here in the BS zone, but Pikmin 1 and 2 down here in the truth zone. Now on to what I think is going to be the most interesting franchise of this list, Xenoblade Chronicles. There's our Monado and there's our cue to press the any button. Let's jump in with L3. Oh, no, let's jump in with SR. Ooh. Ooh. Just like Pikmin 4. Actually, I'm using the Joy-Con, and even the D-pad's not working. I mean, you can't call it a D-pad on the left Joy-Con, I guess, but that's not being counted as any button either. How about left bumper? That one's a button. Left trigger's a button. Plus is a button. But yeah, wow, Xenoblade with the lies. Absolute lies. Does the D-pad work on the Pro Controller? Pro Controller, D-pad. No, it does not. But, like, I feel like it should have at least worked on the Joy-Con, because those are individual buttons. And you use them in-game. So, sorry, Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, you're caught in a giant BS. I've got the updated list there with Xenoblade 1. Okay, spoiler warning for a post-game title screen, because I have beaten this game a couple of times on my Switch. So maybe skip ahead if you don't want to see that. But, apologies for my inconsistency in my order, by the way. Pikmin I did in release order, but Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was released in the first year of the Switch, Definitive Edition 2020. Probably should have flipped those around for consistency. On Xenoblade Chronicles 2, R3 counts as a button. So does L3. But the D-pad still doesn't? Why? Let me try with Joy-Con. got my Joy-Con. And the buttons on the left Joy-Con are doing nothing. And of course, the SLSR buttons aren't really doing anything either, now are they? So, a little better for remembering to include L3, R3 in your any button description, but still kind of BS. And with the list updated, we are now going to check the next Xenoblade game, which, technically speaking, oh, I don't have Torna installed on this Switch. Alright, we're just going to go to 3. So if anyone wants to check the Torna screen and let me know in the comments, feel free to do so, but I imagine it would have the same result as base game Xenoblade 2. But you do technically get a different title screen if you switch over to that DLC. It was sold standalone physically, so I was about to check it. Alas, this video is going to be long enough anyway. And while we're in Xenoblade 3, I could check Future Redeemed, and that'll probably give us an idea of how it would have played out for Xenoblade 2 Torna. But, because it was the last part of the game I played, we're on the Future Redeemed title screen right now, and it's asking me to press any button. Now, this is why I thought this franchise was an interesting case for this video. The sticks, L3 and R3, when you press them as buttons. In Xenoblade Chronicles 2 only. The first one that released on the console. Only then were they counted as buttons. For press any button. But across all 3 games, the D-pad does not count as a button. Just to be sure, I will go back to the main game's title screen and ensure that my findings line up there, but probably the same as Future Redeemed. Here's the main game, Xenoblade 3's title screen. L3, R3 still don't work. D-pad still doesn't work. So yeah, findings are the same across the board. The entire Xenoblade franchise has BS title screens. Is a weird sentence to say out of context because people love these title screens, myself included, for the ambient music, the great background, the look at the characters. Xenoblade X is coming soon at the time of recording this, and that one's no slouch either, so, you know, if you hear me talk about BS title screens, just know I'm talking about inputs. With all the Xenoblades together, it's time to finally delve into one of the highest selling franchises on the Switch, the Pokemon series. But we're starting in an odd place because we're going with the release of Pokken Tournament DX. Alright, Pokken Tournament would like me to press either plus or minus. I pressed ZL and ZR. Although I guess you could count this as the title screen. That was more of an intro video sequence. Let's check both, just to be sure. This one wants me to press L and R. I'm going to press... Okay, also I just pressed A to skip that cut. I'm going to press A here. No, X, Y, B, plus and minus. How about the triggers? The triggers are counted. So a slight bit of a lie detected.
Hey, have you seen my Weavile?
I think this game allows single Joy-Con. Yeah, SLSR function the same as L and R.
You can use
And
your
it switches you to a
Pokegold
single
in
Joy-Con
My
grip
Town
if you
to
do
get
that on the
yourself
title
some
screen.
avatar items.
Which, hey, handy little feature to not have to back out to the home menu, which I'm about to do to test the Pro Controller. Got the Pro Controller, pressing A, pressing plus, pressing all sorts of stuff. Alright, Pokken Tournament is mostly telling the truth.
When you want to sit down and really learn how to bet,
And with that added, next up is Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu and Eevee. I'll be using the Eevee version. Fun fact, I played through this entire game with the Pokeball Plus controller, but I don't have it charged right now, so let's simulate this with right Joy-Con. And then we'll get to the proper title screen here, but Still, very truthful opening screen. Press a button on the controller you want to use, and it highlights the button in question. Oh, right, I haven't played this game on this Switch. Be right back. Okay, I had to play a few seconds to get access to the save button. But now I'm loading up the game again. And we should get proper title screen. Press the A button. X, Y, B, R3. What did I just do? Did R3 actually work? Hold on, let's run that back. ER works. And I know that there are different buttons that are mapped to A in this game because they want you to be comfortable, like using the single controller. Hey, I can walk around, keep my finger on ZR, use that to click on stuff, but apparently R3 was also mapped that way and I never knew it. Weird. Well, total lies then. So next up is Pokemon Sword. Okay, I may have had to do the exact same thing for Pokemon Sword. Okay, I may have accidentally skipped the title screen just now before any button prompt. Thought I was skipping a cutscene. Eventually, I will see the title. A, which is the button I pressed to skip the cutscene last time. B, Y, X. Wow, it's mapped exactly like Let's Go Eevee, isn't it? So I just got past the title screen with ZR to see if my theory is correct. I am now going to try pressing in the right stick because that worked for Let's Go Eevee. And I thought in that game it made more sense because A was mapped to those things for single controller support. But no, Pokemon Sword does not recognize R3 or L3 as the. But it does. I just tried ZL. It does recognize ZR and ZL, which means it's still being caught in a total lie, on top of just being annoying for having that drawn-out cutscene before the button prompt. Next up, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. Alright, Rescue Team DX wants me to watch Pelipper go by and then press any button. You know I have to test the sticks. It works. Also, side note, I like how you can look at the illustration underneath the options. Now after the Xenoblade debacle, I feel compelled to test the D-pad. But first, let's test the SLSR button, which do not seem to be doing anything here. D-pad works, though. So because of the SLSR buttons not working, I do have to put this in the same yellow, mostly truthful category as Fire Emblem, but good on them for including R3 and, you know, the D-pad. Next up is new Pokemon Snap. Pokemon Snap would like me to press the any button, such as R3, such as L3, such as SR, SL, such as the D-pad. Okay, that one works.
Hi.
So, sorry, no sticks. No sticks means total BS. Next, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Pokemon Shining Pearl would like me to press the A button. But since it's traditionally worked, I'm gonna press the ZR button. Sure enough. Even still. So that's gonna lump it in the same category as Pokemon Sword. Which I think most people would agree with the rating total BS, but maybe not just because of the title screen. Next up is Pokemon Legends Arceus. Press A. But what if I didn't? What if I pressed plus? What if I pressed DR, my old buddy? Oh ho ho, what do we have here? We have a case of a Pokemon game telling the truth and nothing but the truth. I just tried every button except A. But to be sure, I'm going to connect the Pro Controller. Pokemon Legends, you legend. You truth-telling legend. Of course, now we've got to go off and meet your younger brother, Pokemon Scarlet. Let's see if Scarlet learned any lessons from Arceus in regards to the title screen. Press A button is the challenge. Now, the A is inside a giant circle, so of course it means press the A button. I could see someone reading this as press a button, and then they press a button, and it doesn't work. But I am personally reading this as just the A button. None of the other buttons should work. And just like Pokemon Legends Arceus, at least the title screen works as intended. But to finish off the Pokemon franchise today, we need to solve the mystery of Detective Pikachu Returns title screen. Alright, there is a button prompt in the bottom right that says A, OK. There is no instruction on how to move around this menu. But perhaps we can let that pass. Because if one just wants to boot up the game and they press A, it should work. But I'm going to try a few other buttons. See if there's anything mischievous going on. Aside from the D-pad and the left stick allowing you to move through the menu, none of the other buttons seem to do anything. So, a little bit of a tough call for me, but since it does say the A button, OK, in the bottom right, I guess I'm going to lump this in with telling the truth. Now, my job isn't completely done here because we've got a couple other one-off franchises that have a bit of a different take on the title screen. You'll see what I mean in just a second. It would not be a video on my channel if I didn't take every opportunity I could to mention Nintendo Labo, which doesn't exactly have a title screen per se, but when you start the game, it brings you to this menu. On this particular Switch, I don't have my full save data. That's why Make is the only option available, but you'd get this screen regardless. So, let's start with Make. Now there's a dancing cursor on the right side with the A button on it. I'm pressing A. You can also click on the options button there. The R button, I think, just worked. Let me test that again. Yes, the right bumper works as well. So does the left one. I mean, yeah, there's reasons for this, why the game wants to make... it's like the Let's Go Eevee thing, where they're trying to make things easier to navigate in future sections of the game. The fact that the bumpers and I guess the triggers? No. The fact that the bumpers are the only other equivalent to A that works is weird to me. But, yeah, as much as I love Labo, I suppose I have to call its title screen out for its lies. I'm sure if I wanted to, I could make up some argument like, hey, it doesn't say that the R button doesn't work, but I'd have to go back and do that for the other games too. Point is, that to press A, you don't have to press A. And I got one final game to end things off with. surprise shift in camera so that I can stand up. Because the final game that we are looking at for this list is Ring Fit Adventure. There's that title. And what's it going to tell me to do? Is it going to tell me any lies? Put the Joy-Con in the leg strap. Okay. Put the Joy-Con in the leg strap around the thigh. My thigh is not in the frame, so you will have to trust this. Slide the right Joy-Con into the Ring-Con. Check. Press in. Press in and start. And it changes the prompt to press and hold. That's just fun. Move my leg. You can't see my leg, but you can see the Joy-Con on the screen, and it's moving around. It's so serene. Press in and hold the ring. That is how you start things. No lies detected. At least until I go back and make sure that buttons don't work. Ooh. Yeah, buttons work. Although, actually, there is a button prompt in the bottom right that says, right face button next. Although the right face button doesn't work on the left Joy-Con in my leg strap. I am outside Canada. Oh yeah, there's other button prompts at the top of the screen for the health and safety change display. Yeah, no lies detected. The B button just makes a beeping sound. Or by B, I mean bottom. A. Anyway, we're putting this in the truth-telling zone. Alright, we put in many games, so here's a quick look down the full list of every game we tested out. We have 13 absolute liars among the Switch first-party library. Possibly more that I didn't test in this video. If you know of any good examples, you should let me know down in the comments. Then we have 19 games where some amount of lying was detected. They were not 100% honest with us. Maybe mostly honest with us, but some sort of crack in the seams showed. And then surprisingly, the majority of the games tested here fell into the 100% truthful category, and good on them. I guess for the most part, Nintendo seems to have our back when it comes to telling the truth on their title screens. And that list goes all the way down to 29 entries, including Fit Adventure that I just added at the end there. And finally, there were just a couple oddballs that didn't exactly tell the player to do anything on the title screen. So you can't say you caught them in a lie, but you also can't say they were being totally honest with you. Lies by omission are kind of a thing, but we separate those from the rest, and we had 3 of those duckling our own little pond. Anyway, hopefully this was a fun little experiment for all of you. If you like what I put together here, then do consider liking or subscribing for more of this stuff. Got any fun ideas, let me know, but in the meantime, gonna keep at it. Keep pressing L and R, keep pressing A, keep pressing the any button, keep pressing the Ring-Con, keep pressing that subscribe button, but I already told you that. Have a good one. Goodbye.